Leo, you need to hear this right now. Someone close to you is hiding something big, and the betrayal could happen within the next 24 hours. But here's the truth that may surprise you. God is already protecting you. That uneasy feeling you've been carrying lately? It's not random. You've been picking up on the subtle energy shifts, on small signs your intuition has flagged. Maybe someone's vibe suddenly changed, maybe your body tensed up around a certain person, or maybe your spirit just got tired without knowing why. That isn't anxiety. That's discernment. And if you've landed on this video today, I want you to know something. It wasn't by accident. This message was channeled for Leo. And not just any Leo. For the Leo who's been questioning who's truly in their corner. For the Leo who has loved too hard, trusted too deep, and is starting to sense that someone might be wearing a mask. I was woken up at exactly 3:33 a.m. It wasn't just a dream, it was a call. A vision came through, urgently. The message was loud and clear. Someone is about to show Leo their true face. Within the next 24 hours. But right alongside that warning came something else, an unmistakable sense of protection. It wasn't fear. It was divine clarity. God is already ahead of this. You are not alone in this moment. The reason this is happening isn't to break you. It's happening to awaken you. Because you, Leo, have outgrown the energy of smallness. You've started shining too brightly, and not everyone in your circle can handle that light. And what happens when light becomes unbearable for those still stuck in the dark? They act out. They sabotage. They gossip. They betray. But the betrayal is not the story here. The shift is. This is about your soul calling in higher protection, higher discernment, and yes, higher rewards. Because there's something big on its way to you. A door that's about to open. And someone around you knows it. They feel it. They see you rising. And it's triggering them. That's what this video is really about. Not fear but awareness. Not drama but power. If you stay with me until the end, I'm going to show you how this moment of tension is actually the beginning of your greatest alignment yet. We'll walk through the spiritual signs that may already be showing up, the mistakes this person is likely to make that will reveal themselves, and how to respond without losing your peace or giving away your power. And if any part of you has been feeling this in your gut, like something is off, like a mask is about to fall, I want you to take a breath right now and write this in the comments. I trust my intuition. I am protected by divine timing. That's not just a phrase. It's a frequency. When you type it, you anchor it. You set your field. You tell the universe, I'm listening. Before we go any further, I want to say this from the heart, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. You may not realize it, but every time you interact with this space, you help build something powerful. A spiritual circle. A family. And this channel, Eternal Mindfulness, would not be what it is without you. I don't take your presence lightly. So stay with me, Leo. Because what's about to unfold isn't just a warning, it's an awakening. Something sacred is being revealed. And once you see it, you'll never unsee it. The truth will set you free, but it will also set you ahead. Now tell me in the comments. What brought you here today? What has your soul been whispering lately? Let's begin. Leo, I want to speak to the part of you that already knows something is off. You felt it in your chest, maybe in your stomach. A tightness. A flicker of doubt. A voice that whispers, watch closely. Maybe you've tried to brush it off, called it paranoia, overthinking, emotional fatigue. But if there's one thing I've learned through years of working with energy and guiding others through spiritual thresholds, it's this: your body never lies. Your spirit never lies. What you're sensing is real. The disturbance is real. The reason it doesn't make sense yet is because betrayal rarely arrives with a name tag. It hides in smiles. It cloaks itself in false loyalty. And it always waits for the moment you're most open, most trusting, most tired. This part of your journey isn't about labeling someone a villain. It's about validating the wisdom within you that's been trying to get your attention. The reversed King of Cups in your reading isn't just a card, it's a mirror. It shows us a figure who manipulates emotion behind a mask of emotional intelligence. Someone who knows exactly when to offer comfort and when to withdraw it. Someone who may appear supportive but keeps score. Someone who gives with one hand and quietly expects repayment with the other. What makes this even more complex is that this person isn't always easy to spot because they often believe they're acting out of care. That's what makes this kind of betrayal feel so confusing. It pokes at your inner child's deepest wound, the fear of being abandoned, used, or unworthy. But here's the truth. This moment is not here to destroy you, it's here to wake up a deeper level of discernment in you. This person is not the lesson. Your response is. And this is where we pause. Not in fear, but in clarity. Because the gift in all of this is that your energy system is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's alerting you to misalignment. And when you listen, really listen, you break a cycle. One you've likely seen before. Maybe in your family. Maybe in past friendships or jobs. That pattern of ignoring your instincts, of explaining away red flags. That ends here. Astrologically speaking, the moon's presence in this reading speaks volumes. The moon doesn't just rule emotions, it reveals what's hidden in the dark. It exposes illusions, projections, and false comfort. When this energy shows up, it's not about causing fear. It's about illuminating truth. But here's the thing, the moon only reveals what you're ready to see. And if you're watching this now, you're ready. We don't always get to choose when the veil lifts, but we do get to choose what we do with the truth. Sometimes, the most sacred form of protection is just seeing someone clearly. Not judging them. Not needing revenge. Just knowing. That knowing will guide your next step. You've probably heard the phrase, trust takes years to build, seconds to break, and forever to repair. But what they don't often say is that the trust that truly matters is the trust you build with yourself. The deeper that bond, the less you fear what others might do, because you know you'll never abandon your own knowing again. If this is resonating, if someone popped into your mind just now, I want you to honor that. Not by acting out. Not by confronting them. But by typing the first letter of their name in the comments below. Not for exposure. But for release. To say, I see what I see. And I'm listening now. Because the truth is, Leo, you were never crazy. You were always tuned in. You're just finally choosing to believe yourself. And that changes everything. When you've lived through enough emotional storms, you begin to recognize that not all chaos is punishment. Sometimes, it's preparation. Sometimes, it's the sacred unraveling of everything that no longer fits where you're going. That's the energy we're stepping into now, Leo. What you're experiencing in this moment, whether it feels like a disruption, a confrontation, or just a quiet discomfort, is actually a kind of spiritual detox. And while it may look like things are falling apart on the outside, what's really happening is that the energetic field around you is being cleared, layer by layer, of everything that cannot survive where your light is expanding. The astrology around you is no coincidence. Right now, the sun is doing more than just shining, it's revealing. And when it pairs with Pluto, the planet of transformation, and Saturn, the enforcer of karmic law, it doesn't just show you the truth, it asks you to grow because of it. These aren't random transits. This is divine orchestration. This is your cosmic alignment pulling back the curtain so that you can step into full integrity with who you really are. Now, let's talk about the idea of a 7-day energetic cleanse, not as a ritual, but as a natural response to your growth. Think of your aura like a room that's been filled with too many conversations, too many projections, too many expectations that don't belong to you. When your soul decides it's time to clear that room, everything that's been quietly tolerated suddenly becomes intolerable. People may start reacting strangely to you. Old habits stop feeling satisfying. Even your own body may start sending signals: fatigue, restlessness, random bursts of tears. That's not weakness. That's purification. The Justice card showed up for a reason. This isn't about revenge or karma being served to others. It's about balance being restored within you. A kind of inner courtroom, where your intuition steps up as the final judge. You're being asked to make decisions now that reflect your highest knowing, not your past loyalty. And that's never easy. Especially when your heart is still trying to give the benefit of the doubt. But truth isn't about being nicey, it's about being free. And this is your moment to choose freedom, even if it's uncomfortable. If you've been seeing repeating numbers like 444 or 777 lately, know that it's not random. These are like energetic breadcrumbs from your higher self, reminding you that you're not navigating this on your own. The 444 often shows up when your guides are close, nudging you to stay grounded, stay aware. And 777? That's alignment. That's the universe whispering, you're on the path. Keep going. During these next 7 days, I encourage you to move gently. Be intentional with what you eat, how you speak, and who you share your energy with. Hydration isn't just for your body, it's for your field. Salt baths aren't a luxury right now, they're a clearing mechanism. And when it comes to people who constantly challenge your peace or belittle your growth, this is the week to lovingly step back. You don't owe anyone access to your energy just because they've had it in the past. If any of this feels like what you've been moving through lately, I want you to take a deep breath and comment below. I welcome clarity. I honor my energetic upgrade. When you name it, you claim it. When you speak it, you stabilize it. These 7 days are not about avoiding discomfort, they're about allowing a deeper alignment to settle in. And the more you listen inward, the less you'll need the world to validate what you already know. You're not losing people. You're losing noise. And what's left is you, unfiltered, unshaken, and ready for what's next. By the time you reach day 3 of an energetic shift like the one you're moving through now, things begin to reveal themselves in more obvious ways. The mask slips not always in a dramatic confrontation, but often in subtle, almost casual moments that leave you questioning what you just heard. This is the space where truth begins to ripple underneath someone's carefully rehearsed persona. And while it might show up as a conversation, a message, or even a strange change in tone, what's actually happening is this: the universe is setting the stage for clarity. And the ones who are not aligned with your evolution will start to trip over the roles they've been playing. This is where the Page of Swords meets the Moon. In tarot, these two cards together speak to clever communication laced with illusion. The Page is the messenger, curious, talkative, sometimes impulsive. The Moon casts shadows, obscuring reality with uncertainty and emotional projection. When they show up like this, it often means someone will try to manipulate the narrative around you. Not through outright lies, necessarily, but through distortion. They may make you question your memory, your feelings, your decisions. They may offer information that feels off but isn't quite wrong enough to challenge outright. This is a classic emotional tactic, a sliding gand. It leaves you doubting yourself even when your gut is screaming something's not right. Here's what I want you to remember: if you feel confused after talking to someone, it's not always because you don't understand, it's often because they don't want to be understood clearly. Confusion is a symptom of energetic interference. And on this third day, when the energetic cleanse is intensifying, the truth becomes harder to hide, even when it's dressed in politeness. Now is the time to be still, to listen with your whole body, and to let silence be your strongest boundary. You don't need to expose anyone. You don't need to confront. You just need to observe and trust what is revealed without you having to search for it. That's one of the most misunderstood forms of spiritual maturity, the ability to let things fall apart without clinging or correcting. When someone shows you who they are in small, unsettling ways, believe it. Even if it's uncomfortable. Even if you don't yet have proof that would make sense to anyone else. Practically, this is a good time to engage in energetic hygiene. If you've never done cord-cutting meditations before, this is the perfect space to begin. Not because you hate someone, but because you're reclaiming your energy from where it's been entangled. Imagine yourself unplugging old wires, any ties that drain you, confuse you, or keep pulling you back into conversations that never seem to go anywhere. Journaling is another powerful tool during this phase. Not to dwell on the drama, but to keep your clarity intact. Sometimes, just writing something down lets you see the pattern your emotions have already recognized. You might also notice physical signs: fatigue after certain interactions, a knot in your stomach, restlessness that shows up only after specific people message you or call. These are energetic flags. And it's okay to trust them without demanding permission or justification. Protective stones like black tourmaline or selenite can also support you during this process. But more than any external tool, it's your ability to stay emotionally anchored that keeps you aligned. Choose presence over panic. Choose inner peace over reactive noise. And remember, if they need to trick you to stay in your life, they've already told you the most important truth: they're not safe for your next chapter. So take a deep breath. You're not imagining this. You're awakening. And on this third day, the veil is thin enough for your intuition to pierce through. Just let it. Quietly. Confidently. Completely. You've probably noticed it already, in subtle ways. The glances that don't last as long as they used to. The shift in tone when you speak about something exciting. The short replies to your good news. The awkward pauses when you shine a little too brightly. These are the soft clues, the energetic ripples that tell you someone in your orbit is struggling not with you, but with your light. And I know that's a painful realization. Especially when it's someone who used to clap for you, who knew you when things weren't working yet. But here's what's important to understand. Not everyone who starts the journey with you is meant to witness your reward. What you're moving into right now, this next phase, isn't ordinary. The energy surrounding you carries the vibration of 9 of Pentacles and Ace of Pentacles, which in tarot speak to self-made success, material growth, recognition, and a grounded new beginning. It's the energy of harvest. Of finally receiving after long seasons of discipline, sacrifice, and trust. That's where the tension is coming from. Someone around you senses what's coming. Even if they can't explain it, they feel it in your presence. And instead of being inspired, they feel threatened. They may not even be fully conscious of it, but it shows. In dismissive comments. In backhanded compliments. In emotionally pulling away without reason. Because your blessings are reminding them of the places within themselves they've neglected. This doesn't make them evil. But it does make them misaligned. And when people are out of alignment with your growth, their behavior naturally starts to separate from your path. You don't have to force that. It will happen on its own. That's the beauty of divine timing. Numerologically, you're working with the energy of 8 and 9 right now. The number 8 is about power, money, structure, and inner authority. It teaches you to stand tall in your value. The number 9 is about spiritual endings, wrapping up karmic patterns and soul contracts. So if you've been feeling like something is ending but also sensing that something greater is just beginning, you're absolutely right. The tension you feel is the friction of transition. And that friction is pushing truth to the surface. In fact, don't be surprised if in the next 24 to 48 hours, something reveals itself that you weren't expecting. A misplaced text. A contradictory statement. A slip of the tongue. Maybe even a strange coincidence that suddenly brings clarity to an unresolved gut feeling. Pay special attention between the hours of 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Those are highly charged windows of intuitive insight. Not because you're supposed to catch someone, but because the universe is orchestrating the perfect moment for masks to fall gently but clearly. And when that moment comes, you won't need to react. You won't need to explain yourself or confront anyone. The most powerful thing you can do is simply stand in your knowing. Just observe. Watch how things shift when you stop questioning yourself and start listening to what's been obvious all along. Because sometimes, the act of seeing the truth without trying to change it is all the universe needs from you to move you forward. There's a quiet kind of strength that comes from not letting people's projections interfere with your peace. This week, that strength is your superpower. If this message resonates, take a moment and write in the comments, "I claim what's mine, and I release what no longer serves me." That's not just a sentence, it's an energetic choice. One that says, I trust what's unfolding. I trust what's leaving. And more than anything, I trust that what's on its way is meant just for me. Keep shining, because what's coming next is golden. Literally. Leo, let's talk about betrayal not as the end of something, but as the sacred fire that reveals who you truly are beneath everything you thought you needed. This is not just a heartbreak or a broken trust. This is your soul's initiation, and it didn't happen to destroy you, it happened to cleanse you. When betrayal enters your life, it doesn't ask permission. It cuts deep. It shatters the familiar. And for a moment, it makes you question everything. But what if that very moment, the collapse, the burning, the falling apart, was actually a divine reset? A spiritual baptism? What if the person who betrayed you was simply playing the role your soul needed to awaken its true mission? You weren't meant to live your life small, pleasing everyone, or tolerating manipulation just to feel safe. You were born to break patterns, Leo. Especially the hidden patterns that have existed in your family line for generations, the ones no one talks about but everyone repeats. You know the ones, the buried competition, the subtle rivalries, the manipulative silences, the quiet betrayals passed on like heirlooms. But something is different now. Because you are different. You are the one walking through the fire without being consumed by it. The one who sees the pattern and says, "This stops with me." And here's what's powerful: you don't need revenge to win. You need clarity. And you have it now. This is where the energy of the Magician card steps in. It's not about tricks or illusions. It's about real creation. This card reminds you, everything you need is already within reach. The betrayal didn't take anything from you, it stripped away the noise so you could finally hear your soul speak clearly. You've always had the tools, your voice, your passion, your intuition, your resilience. But now, after the storm, those tools are sharp, refined. And they're calling you to use them not to prove your worth, but to fulfill your mission. What's next is not a rebuilding of the old, but the opening of a new door. One that leads to sacred relationships, ones that don't require pretending, overgiving, or walking on eggshells. This new chapter brings people who see you, because they recognize your light, people who've also been through fire and chose healing over bitterness. The truth is, betrayal didn't break you. It freed you. It unhooked you from false loyalty. It forced you to trust the only thing that never lied, your intuition. And now, you're standing in the place where your new life begins. So ask yourself, who are you becoming now that the old attachments are gone? What would it feel like to finally move without carrying someone else's shame, fear, or projections? You are not only healing yourself. You are healing the story of your entire bloodline. If this speaks to your soul, pause for a moment. Breathe it in. Let it land. And if you're ready to walk through this new door of your purpose, I invite you to type in the comments, "I accept my light mission, I am ready to activate a new level." If you feel like your healing is also transforming the unseen pain of your ancestors, say it out loud or write below, "I was chosen to heal and lead." This is the moment. And you, Leo, are not late. You are perfectly on time. Leo, you've always known, haven't you? Somewhere deep down, even in the moments when people underestimated you, when someone close to you smiled but lied, you could feel it. You felt the sting of betrayal before the truth had a chance to speak. And yet here you are. Standing. Breathing. Stronger. Wiser. You didn't crumble when the mask fell. You paused, you processed, and know you're re-rising. This journey wasn't just about seeing through someone else's illusion. It was about remembering your own light. Because when you strip away the lies, the pain, and the confusion, what remains is a soul that refuses to be dimmed. You, Leo, were never here to be liked by everyone. You were born to be undeniable. And the ones who played games with your heart, with your money, or with your trust, they forgot that the sun doesn't ask for permission to shine. It just does. So take a moment, right now. Breathe. Feel the ground beneath you. Let the truth anchor you, not because it hurts, but because it frees you. You don't need anyone's validation. You don't need to prove what you already are, chosen, protected, and divinely guided. The truth hurts, yes. But it also heals. And what's coming next in your life, Leo? It's not just compensation. It's restoration. Respect will return. Wealth will flow. And love, the real kind, the kind that doesn't pretend, will meet you where you've been waiting. Now is the time to practice everything you've learned. Set boundaries like royalty. Detox your space, not just your home, but your energy field. Breathe deeply, write your emotions down, move your body with care. Even drinking warm lemon water tomorrow morning is an act of reclaiming your center. Every little step counts. Start where you are. And don't forget this simple truth: you can choose not to carry what tried to break you. You are allowed to let it go. You are allowed to rebuild without resentment. That is real power. If you've ever felt like someone was pretending with you, like they wore a mask too, well then hit that like button. I want to know if you felt it too. And in the comments, write, "God is protecting me from betrayal." Let this be your energetic declaration. Let the universe witness your strength. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness and turn on the bell, because what's coming next is going to blow your mind. You're not just entering a new chapter. You're entering your golden age. Stay ready.